Our next guest is an example for all of us. What one person can do to impact all of Clary-Serrano. Her name is Sharon Katz. She's the editor of Voices Magazine and Voices TV. She's the founder of Ranger Spears Theater Company in Gush Katif and producer and onstage performer for 10 years this month. She's the founder and producer of mega charity dance spectacular Dames of the Dance and has performed with him on stage for the last 4 years. Connected to Gush Katif, Sharon Katz and her entire family have always been involved. In 2006, she teamed up with Young Israel, and the first Purim night ensured that every child from Gush Katif would have a Purim costume. Now, over 632 young brides. Sharon Katz was the founding member of the committee for Gush Katif bridal showers and provided that service for all of the young brides coming out of Gush Katif. So please, as an example for all of us, how one person can really impact, please welcome Sharon Katz.
Thank you to Job Katif and the Young Israel for having me. There is probably not one person in this synagogue who hasn't either worn an orange bracelet or stood shoulder to shoulder in mammoth protests throughout the country or prayed their hearts out in mass tefillot at the Kotel or under a Gush Katif palm tree. Perhaps they even blocked a highway, but shh, I won't tell anyone. There's probably not one of you who doesn't still possess the orange ribbon from his car. Mine is hanging on my rearview mirror, or his orange t-shirt, or his bottle of Gush Katif sand and seashells. There's probably not one person in this room who didn't link arms with a new friend in the 120,000 person human chain that ran 90 kilometers from Nisanit to Jerusalem, or who hadn't traveled to Gush Katif for a day, week, month of solidarity. There is not one of you who didn't weep his eyes out when parents and children were forcibly pulled out of their homes or their shuls, or when tractor plows turned our heroic friends from Gush Katif into wretched homeless. The foundation of today's We Want a Home tent protests did not begin last month on Rothschild Boulevard. They began in Gush Katif 6 years ago when 10,000 Jews became homeless, just as former Israeli Prime Minister Arik Sharon predicted. The fate of Netzarim is the same as the fate of Tel Aviv. And so it is. We all knew the despair of Gush Katif and the northern Shomron, and to some extent or another, we fought the battle and we felt it. Perhaps we despair that all our struggles and all our protests were for naught, but I don't agree. As believing Torah Jews, we know that God created the cure even before the illness. And so, as thousands of Jews prayed in Netivot, crammed into the rose garden, or snuck through the fields to Gush Katif, God was preparing thousands, even hundreds of thousands of Jews to open their hearts to the spirit of Gush Katif and therefore be ready and willing to help with the repair when the expulsion he decreed would actually happen. Hashem prepared you and me as the cure, prepared us for the moment of repair. There's probably not one of you who didn't volunteer in one of the hotels or Caravilla sites after the disengagement, or hasn't written a check that helped in some way, or participated in some chesed project to benefit our expelled brothers. The last time that I was honored to speak here, I detailed dozens of chesed projects that regular people like you and I took upon ourselves to help our brethren. And now, I'd like to speak about one with which I am intimately involved. Since 6 months after the expulsion, a group of amazing women joined together to make bridal showers for the Chatanim and Kalot of Gush Katif. For 5.5 years, we have been celebrating with the same young people who, as teenagers in the Gush before the destruction, had acted with great dignity to show their love for Eretz Yisrael, talking, convincing, protesting. They saw literally their homes and their parents' businesses wiped out and their childhood shattered. Weddings are a time of joy. But for a Gush Katif family that was in a trauma 6 years ago, and often even today is still in trauma, it can be another source of stress. Many parents are unemployed or underemployed or dealing with life issues. And even today, thanks to the work of Job Katif and the beginning of building in some communities, which is costing so much more than their compensation, the wounds of the past are still open. Some brides and grooms were orphaned of one of their parents. Some are the children of terror victims, or terror victims themselves. When we recently showered a very famous and severely injured victim of a bus bombing, we each had to turn away to hide our tears, while she oohed and ahed with such pure delight at the mountain of bridal gifts before her. Some kalot are from families who have few or no rights. One mother who has been fighting evil bureaucracy and indifference for so long told us after her daughter's shower, "I had thought that there was no good left in the world until I met all of you." The stories are endless, and so many are sad beyond words. Out of destruction and despair, the voices of joy and gladness, the voices of the brides and grooms of Gush Katif can be heard to begin new lives. And so our committee does our best to help them build their Bayit Ne'eman B'Yisrael in a positive way. On a trip to a Gush Katif temporary site, a mother told our committee that the Chatanim that we were showering had been leaders of the Ma'avak, the struggle. They were teens then before the army. She said that they were really hurt nafshi in their souls. The mother said that they felt that they were discarded and even hated by the nation. But she added that our outpouring of support for them and the thought that Am Yisrael loves them has made a tremendous change for the better in their outlook and their feelings toward their people. It is a step toward their healing. Baruch Hashem, women have joined us from throughout Israel, possibly in your communities, plus cities throughout the diaspora, to help those Chatanim and Kalot. Each has supplied a head start with a warm, caring hug for the Gush Katif couples. B'li Ayin Hara, the Committee for Gush Katif Bridal Showers has helped more than 620 Gush Katif couples. And if you have worked on or have attended a Gush Katif shower, I thank you. I have chosen one out of hundreds of thank you letters to read to you tonight. To the women who support Gush Katif, although we don't know you by name or face, we wanted to thank you. We have no words to describe the warmth and excitement that washed over us when we got your package, which contained both gifts and love and generosity. I was in high school before the Gerush, the expulsion, and I felt the battle we were raging was not just for our own home, but for Am Yisrael. The fact that you are now with us in our time of joy, in the time that we are trying to repair the damage, gives us hope for our people. It's been many years since we linked arms in the human chain. But as my friend Anita Tucker of Netzer Chazani, and soon in Yetz Hashem, soon of Yisadot said, today, our hands and our hearts are connected in a chain of chesed that is more important and more dynamic than any of us can ever imagine. Baruch Hashem, new names are constantly added to our list as Gush Katif's young people build their tomorrow. Rebbetzin Esther Kitov told us that our showers bring out the best of Am Yisrael because they cross every denomination of Jew and unite the Jewish people in chesed. We thank our friends in America, Amazing Savings, who have provided every single piece of meat and dairy flatware for every single couple since our first Efrat shower. Thanks to Yad Eliezer, who say it is their honor to help us because the people of Gush Katif were so generous to them throughout the years. Central Fund of Israel has been with us since we first collected our first dollar. And Job Katif and One Israel Fund have helped us as well. Like all other chesed organizations, we have been hurt by the economic downturn, but our committee of Gush Katif bridal showers, made up of true tzidkaniot, perseveres. And Baruch Hashem, our showers have been a segula of good fortune and personal simcha for all those involved. Friends, our showers have been possible because people like you love chesed, want to rebuild Am Yisrael and help us to repair the wrong done to our brothers. All of us together are the cure for the ills of the past. I leave you with the words of a dear bride. I pray that just as you have seen and felt the pain of the Chorban, the destruction, you and all of us will merit to see speedily in our day the rebuilding of our temple, the return of Hashem to Zion, and the homecoming of Am Yisrael to all parts of our holy land. Thank you again in the names of the many Chatanim and Kalot from Gush Katif. Olam Chesed Yibaneh.